Right, if you didn't know, this is two mates chatting about football, but not generic football. We're looking at football leadership, football management. We're going to delve deep into comparisons between football leadership and business leadership. Definitely there's comparisons. That's why people like Sir Alex Ferguson and Jose Mourinho have paid huge sums of money to come into businesses and talk about how they develop and look after teams. So on the show, as you will see each week, is one of my best friends. We're going to be going through this, chatting away. And it's Ashley. Do you want to say hello again, Ash?
Hello, welcome to the show.
Now, this is our second show. And if you like the first one, or if you didn't like the first one, we'd like to hear your comments on it because it's going to get better and better each week. The topic's going to be different things are going to be happening, and we're going to get a lot more comfortable. This is us being very vulnerable in front of everybody, talking about things we love, passionate about, but we want to get it out there to people. And we do that by getting on the show and spreading all of this knowledge and really just two mates talking. And it should be like you guys are sat in the pub, sat in a beer garden, sat at home like you are now, and you're just having a chat with your mates. And that's what this is going to be like. So let's get the ball rolling straight away.
Let's go.
One of the hot topics, and I listened to a bit of TalkSport, and to be honest, I should just turn it off because it does my head in. But they talk about this decision, Thomas Tuchel bringing on Callum Hudson-Odoi on the 50th minute or something, then taking him off on like the 70th minute. And supposedly Tuchel came out and said, you know, he didn't like his energy levels. So the reason why I talk about this is that leaders, managers who have salespeople or people within their business that they need to reprimand or say something to, how do you then deal with that afterwards? And let's talk about on a football level. So Ash, what are your thoughts on that?
On a football level, summing it up, he's the manager. It's his decision. Like they say, they live and die by the sword. Good on him. Because he brought him on, he weren't doing what he wanted, so he took him off. It's a manager's decision. You look at a workplace, you know, if he's not performing and he's not, you know, helping the team, then it's like, you know, see you later. And I like Thomas Tuchel, well, however you pronounce his name.
Tuchel.
Tuchel, Schmuchel.
Yeah.
Because what he does, he's known for rubbing people up the wrong way. And he's not got a 3-year contract at Chelsea. He's got a small window to prove himself. And Hudson-Odoi, let's just break it down. He's a young kid. He's done minimal since Tuchel's come there, or Tuchel. He's had a decent amount of time, but he's not done anything fantastic. And at the end of the day, you know, he did start against Atletico Madrid and got taken off after 80 minutes. So he obviously impressed the manager through training, and hopefully he got a reaction out of him.
Yeah, I think, you know, some players you can do something like that to in public and they go, right, I'm going to prove you wrong here. Or some of them become an absolute rotten egg within the business or within the team and spread this whole negative energy within it. So it seems like what I saw was that he put his arm around him, told him what he thought of him. And I think Hudson-Odoi took it on the chin and he's come out swinging. And he's played a good game against West Ham. 1-0 away is a great victory for us.
That's the best result in Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe with FC Porto, it's up there, but you know, 9 out of 10 people would have said Chelsea lose that game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with what went on, you know, 2 months before we getting rid of Frank Lampard. But what I like about decision making like that is, and I'm sure you see it within the businesses you're in, people go, look, let's do this, let's try this out. And then they stick with it and they don't know when to let it go. Or they've got such a big ego that they have to hang on. And I think Tuchel was, you know, he was humble enough to bring on a player. It didn't work out and he took him straight off. And I think that's what's good about his leadership. He's willing to admit that he was wrong.
100%.
Yeah.
That's good.
Shall we go into that a little bit more? Let's see your thoughts on that a little bit more. Like, have you experienced that with any like decisions that you've made, like with the company, when it's like, right, let's try this out, and you should have,
of course,
given it up a bit quicker, but you stuck with it?
Yeah, you know, obviously I work in property, so you know, you have a tenant come in, you're not sure, but because they're interested, you run with it. You don't have the gut feeling, and then it gets further down the line, and you're like, should have followed my gut and done something different.
Yeah.
So it's similar. So, what he done was he didn't wait till the end of the game or whatever. He brought him on. He was like, you know what, it's just not working. I need to change it now because it's a results business.
Yeah.
You're judged on results and he needs results.
Yeah, and I like what you said as well about I think he's got an 18-month contract, hasn't he? So he either makes decisions now, like there's no such thing. And you said this last week about a project with Chelsea, like he's got to do things right now. And it's not a Frank Lampard team. Like a lot of those players are German. Like they probably suit Tuchel better than they suit Lampard. So there's probably a story there by itself about what was Lampard even doing there in the first place. Was it just waiting around for Tuchel to get sacked from PSG to bring him in?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see.
Right, let's move on to the next one. Keeping with the theme of Chelsea, but Frank Lampard been sacked a couple of months ago, and I want to talk about the rumours of potentially him going to Celtic to manage Celtic. And I think this is, for my 2 cents on it, there's quite an interesting thing here about what happened with Brendan Rodgers with Liverpool. And I don't know if that's what you wanted to talk about, but he went away.
Martin O'Neill, Brendan Rodgers, they all done great things there. And now if Frank Lampard goes there, it'll be a much bigger challenge because they're not champions now. So he'll have to go there against his old mate Gerrard and have to win the title back. So it's a challenge for him. But if I'm honest with you, I don't see him doing it. He's got a load of money. He lives in London. Why is he going to up to Scotland?
Yeah, but the reason why I bring it up is that what's his next step? What team does he manage now? What team is after Chelsea? Where can he go?
Well, it's not a big team. He'll have to go back to the Championship, but he's going to need to stay there for a couple of years and prove himself.
But I'm saying, like, would a manager do that? Would they step up like that and go, like, look, I need to go back to the drawing board, go back down into the Championship?
He has to. He won't get a big job. He won't get a job in the Premier League. He'll be lucky to get a job in the Championship. He done well at Derby, but he never got him promoted.
No, never got him promoted. No.
He didn't succeed there. He done well, but he didn't do well enough to get the Chelsea job. He only got the Chelsea job on merit, and he was a player and everything else.
Yeah.
But he'll have to go back to the Championship, and he's got to prove himself. He come in the same time as Ollie. Everyone's like sack Ollie, sack Ollie, sack Ollie, and I don't know who signed the players, but he spent 250 million. He got players that if you're a football manager, you're guaranteed to win the quadruple. And, he didn't do anything.
I know we'll have to talk about the quadruple in a minute, but the reason why I bring up Celtic, I mean, you're going to get European football. Championship, you're not going to get European football. So he can still have the experience of that. Look at Gerrard now. Gerrard's now in the quarterfinals of the Europa. He's going to win the Scottish Premier League. They're undefeated still at the moment. And before he went there, he had no management experience. And that was at Rangers that were in a much worse position than what Celtic are now. So what I mean is you're stepping away, but still in a big club, still getting European experience. Potentially, I don't know if they get second place opportunity to qualify for Champions League. I'm not sure.
No, they have to go through qualify.
They have to go qualifiers, but I think the first place still has to as well. But I'm not sure if second place has the opportunity now. But
I don't think they do.
Do you go away and go to a club like that, a massive club, massive following? And the reason why I said it is Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool, the peak of his life it will ever be. And then he couldn't go anywhere else. And now he's come back with Leicester, and Leicester are challenging for the title now. Like he got his respect back.
It's a good point. But Brendan Rodgers was always a good manager. He won a trophy at Swansea. He got Swansea promoted. This is the problem with Lampard. He went straight into the Chelsea job. Didn't really do much.
No.
A lot of things were coated over that they lost Eden Hazard, and they were lucky to get third and all that. But he still had amazing players there. He still had a very good team to finish. I mean, look, they finished fourth behind Man United, who are having the worst season ever.
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
and
you
they
didn't
were
have
well
the
ahead
worst
of
season ever. You finished, I think, 8th with Moyes or something, didn't you?
them. Yeah, maybe.
But that's a story for another time. Now, what everyone loves to do, they love to play players off against each other. And for years and years and years, it's been Ronaldo and Messi. Who's better? You know, who's more physical? Who's got the better on the ball skills? Who's better dribbler? And what I see happening now, and please God, this will be the battle for many, many years because they are two players to be reckoned with, is Haaland and Mbappe. So my question to you is, as a football manager, if you could pick one of those players, who would it be in your team and why?
I do love Mbappe, but for me, Haaland is just such an all-round striker. He is just absolutely lethal. And what people don't understand is he's 6'10", and he's as fast as Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen, like, you know, it's like he's 6'4", Ronaldo's 6'2". You've never seen anyone that big with that, like, so much pace, you know, and he doesn't look like he's fast, but he's quick. And, you know, he's a year younger than Mbappe. Mbappe's doing amazing, but winning the French league with PSG is easy. You know, Emery won it, you know, loads of people won it. It's not really a competitive league. If he wins the Champions League, then he's done very well. But Haaland, you know, is part of a Dortmund team that are going against the very best in Europe now in Bayern Munich. And, you know, they're underdogs in Europe as well. And I just feel when he plays at a bigger club, I think you'll see even better how good he is. And I think he's the better player. And if I was a manager, I'd have Haaland.
Have you seen the stats for the Champions League with his age?
Yeah.
So for his age now, he's scored 18 goals in the Champions League. You know where King Ronaldo was at that age?
King Ronaldo? Nowhere near that.
I think it was either 0 or 3. Either 0 or 3. You know, and Ronaldo scored the most goals ever in Champions League. So he's already streaked. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get as many Champions Leagues as him, but he could end up breaking the record depending on his next move. I mean, what is he, 20?
He's 20, 21.
Yeah.
And he's got a big club in. And so, as you're the host, we might as well ask you the question. Who are you going to have?
Who would I have? I mean,
this ain't FIFA, so obviously Mbappe's faster on FIFA.
Yeah. I mean, did you not see the meme the other week of him running away? Like the guy was trying to catch him. Who was it? From the Barcelona team. They couldn't even catch him. Remember, Mbappe, he hasn't won Champions League, but he won the World Cup. He's already won the World Cup at the age of 19, 20 years old.
He did win the World Cup.
Yeah. And he didn't win it as a bit part player. He
was a very important part.
Yeah. I think he got like 3 or 4 goals during it as well. So, you know, there's my 2 cents back to you about it.
Do you know what? The biggest turning point I've ever seen in someone's career has got to be the game against Argentina, where he just absolutely blitzed them. Absolutely blitzed their defence. They couldn't live with him.
Well, I mean, he scored the hat-trick against Barcelona last week. They're saying that's the biggest turning point. Like, they said that's the changing of the guards, supposedly.
If they win the Champions League, he'll win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so if I had to choose, I mean, you're throwing it back at me now. I mean, there's rumours of him coming to Chelsea, Haaland. That's the rumour.
Yeah, you'd like that, but you can dream on.
Why? Because United are getting him because he's pals with Solskjaer.
Yeah, but the problem is his agent's not a nice character. But he's a fantastic. See, if you want to talk about business another time, Mino Raiola, you should talk about him. What his journey? It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, he definitely protects his players. He definitely speaks up for his players.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, he does.
Next question.
Yeah.
City, as my Manchester friends here would say, City. They're on for the quadruple, but 2 years ago, they were on for the quadruple as well, and they lost to Spurs, but they still won a domestic treble,
which is amazing.
So what has to happen now, because they're in the most incredible, impressive run at the moment, breaking all records every game they play. What is the difference going to be this year for them to do this quadruple?
To win the league early, as in get a very good points deficit and rest the key players, they need to get Aguero back fit, Kevin De Bruyne, and just keep the team as fit as possible. Their best asset this year has been their defence. Ruben Diaz is, the Van Dijk of Liverpool. And, they'll probably win the domestic treble. And I hate to say that as a United fan, but they probably will. But the Champions League is, unfortunately, in the Champions League, they always seem to go out against the underdog, whether it be Monaco, Spurs, or last year, which I thought was unbelievable. They went out to Lyon.
Yeah. And then Lyon got smashed in the next round by Bayern, didn't they?
Exactly. So have they learned from their lesson? So hopefully this could be their year. It'll be good for them to win it. But I don't know. Can they do the quadruple in a nutshell? No. But I think they'll do the domestic treble again.
It's interesting when you say about getting the Premier League tied up early, because that was kind of the reason why Bayern didn't win the league, didn't win the Champions League for so many years. But because they finished it so early, they had no competitive games, and that actually worked against them because they were a bit rusty. So it's interesting. It's like, I think it's just, the Champions League is just pure luck at the end of the day. Like,
you need a lot of luck, as you know.
Well, as you know, with a Terry slip. Yeah? Remember that? Yeah.
All right, calm down. Stop crying.
Yeah. And Ronaldo missing a penalty as well, which is nuts as well to think for him to miss a penalty. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that.
We should have won that game, and you know it. You know it. We should have won that.
We were a much better team. Do me a favour. Did you watch the game?
Luck. Last 2 minutes in the Champions League, 1999.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is luck. Like we can talk about. Oh, what do they need? What's the final thing they need? But they need a decision to go their way. They need something to happen. Like something from outside needs to happen for it to happen for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened outside. It's called management at Sir Alex. Leadership. Keeping them going to the last minute. Never give up attitude.
Fergie time. Give up. The question which runs each week, and I'm hoping we'll keep this, it's not manager of the week, it's manager's decision of the week. We're going to pinpoint something specifically. So I hope you've done your homework on this. What is your management decision of the week?
Whoa. Do you know what? Funny, we talked about it earlier. I think it's Tuchel's decision to play Hudson-Odoi against Atletico Madrid.
So why do you think that?
Because he's had to handle a situation where the media are on the case, and in this country the media love getting into stuff. And if he didn't play him against the game, there would have been a lot of questions. But where he played him, everything went quiet and he managed the situation well. And I think that's probably, I mean, look, for me, that's the decision of the week, but you might argue. I mean, there's plenty of decisions that were good for the week, but I just thought that one where he took him out, then put him back in. He put him back in against a huge game.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a Champions League game against Atletico Madrid. It doesn't get bigger than that.
I think it's quite good because, you let the football do the talking, don't you?
Exactly.
Stop the press conferences, stop the media stuff, get him on the pitch in his safe zone and let him work. And that's what he did.
That's what he did.
Nice.
What's yours?
Don't be asking me questions. I'm the questionnaire here.
All right, sorry.
I mean, I really like this thing. I like this idea of Bale building up this confidence. And I don't know if it's Jose doing his thing again, doing his magic, but this is really what I thought was going to happen with Bale. I honestly believe that Spurs were going to be a lot closer than this, and he would come good in the second half of the season, and that's where they'd step it up. I didn't think Bale was coming for the first half. He was coming to get match fit, and in the second part of the season, he was going to come through. And they're just so far away now from top spot. But I mean, even top four, they're still too far away. And I think that plan went wrong. But I think they were saving him for now. And that West Ham game, like on the weekend, really proved that. Because when he came on, I mean, he was just unbelievable. I don't know if you caught the game.
Yeah, I did catch the game. He was good. And, you know, that volley, I'm like, oh, my God, if that goes in, it's one of the goals of the year. And it's just so unlucky. But I saw his goal in midweek. I know they played a bunch of farmers from Austria.
Yeah.
But the way he took the finish was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, he is a class act. And if you get him fit, you know, Tottenham, listen, he can have a one-off game, as you saw with Real Madrid against Barcelona many years ago, where he ran the team ragged and, you know, they won the cup. If he can do something like that against City, maybe Tottenham can win it.
What I don't know if you saw the Spurs goal. Did you see the Spurs goal with his corner?
No.
You've got to watch his corner. He should have been swinging it this way, yeah? It should have been swinging away from the goal. He did it in such a way, he put such spin on it, ended up dipping like that, and it dropped to Moura, and Moura did like a Teddy Sheringham front post header. And it was
Moura?
just
2 foot tall.
Yeah, Lucas Moura, 4 foot nothing. 4 foot nothing, scored a goal from his head. But watch the goal. It was just the way the ball went. You just couldn't believe. You could see he's been training with Ronaldo for 10 years.
He's got amazing ability with his feet, with free kicks and his technical ability. I mean, before he went to Madrid, he was banging in like worldies for fun.
Yeah, but even at Madrid, I mean, I think he still scored more goals than Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo. Fat Ronaldo, you know. And
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He was there longer. Calm down. Listen, Fat Ronaldo played when he was overweight and had 2 dodgy knees.
Yeah. Well, sounds like Bale at the moment.
Well, you know, he hasn't had that many serious injuries.
No, look, big 2 for Ronaldo still is God. Don't worry about that. I'm not knocking him. But what I'm saying is the expectation at Real Madrid is so high that even when you are world class like Bale was, he still doesn't get
won, I think. He still won 4 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, no, exactly. And they only got the Decima when he came. Not when Ronaldo came, when he came.
Well, you know, listen, it'll be another story, another time, but Ronaldo was playing with a bunch of rubbish, so they needed to invest. It's not like Messi when you're playing with Xavi, Iniesta, Dani Alves, Sergio Busquets at a good age, you know?
Yeah.
I can't even remember who he was playing with.
Who, Ronaldo?
Yeah, I think the Real Madrid team were getting battered left, right and centre.
Well, they won La Liga, didn't they? Which was a massive thing. And I think they were going out in the quarters before Jose came in, and then he got into the semis, didn't he? Like, he built them up. But, yeah. Right, without this dying out, let's keep the energy up here. One last question.
Go on then.
You give me something that you think has been a big thing for the week, like you just want to talk about. Putting you on the spot here.
Well, look, I'm a Man United fan, and the way.
Oh, actually, sorry. No, let's talk about this. United, Chelsea. Who's going to win?
Listen, I've done my mathematics. As long as we win and we're 9 points clear of 5th or 4th, we're getting top 4, which is huge. If we lose, we're back in a race and we've got problems. Sunday's game is huge for both teams, and I hope Ollie doesn't play for a draw. I'll be gutted if he plays for the draw.
So you're telling, so what's your prediction then?
My heart says 2-1 United. My head says 1-0.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Where's it at? It's at United, isn't it?
No, Chelsea.
It's at Chelsea. All right. I remember Tuchel, and he said he has nightmares still about it now. PSG, United. He has nightmares still. So I think it's revenge time. I think 2-1 Chelsea. But a good 2-1. A good 2-1. I think we're gonna sharp at the back, and I think we're gonna get a couple of early goals, and we're gonna stay solid.
We'll see.
Look, this is the beauty of football. You know, you can have an opinion.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Let's have a discussion. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not going to kill each other. At the end of the day.
Well, you're in Dubai, so I can't get to you.
Right. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed me and one of my best mates chatting a load of BS for the past 20 minutes. But there is a focus here, which is football leadership, football management, and how that goes into the business world of leadership. If you like what you're hearing, or if you don't like what you're hearing, comment, share it. Let's start a discussion, because that's what football's about. Everyone has an opinion. We're sat in our living room now. Let's watch the game and let's see what happens. But let's talk about it as we're going on. So, Ash,
100%.
I'll see you next week and we're going to have a talk. But I want you to come up with a couple of questions this time and we'll go at it. All right?
Gotcha.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
JJ Kocha signing out.
See you later.
Nice one.